Hi, my name is Stephanie Zukowski. I'm speaking on behalf of the B team in AET 508's Community-Based Education with Dr. Winston. Today is February 2nd, 2015, and the members of the B team are myself, Chris Ramirez, and Marilyn Brown. Tonight we will be discussing specific differences between the U.S. and other countries in community-based education. The two countries that we have chosen to compare the U.S. to are the United Kingdom and Canada. Canada and the United States share more than just a border. They also share very similar spending in education. The government spending on education is 5.5% in Canada, which ranks at 44th internationally, and the United States is ranked 39th with a 5.62% spending percentage. The other reason that we chose the Canada and the United States is because of their interest in literacy. Now, the United Kingdom is not that far behind. Obviously, they are also interested in literacy. Very similar unemployment rates as the United States. The United States and the UK both have unemployment rates above 5%, but within just decibels of each other after that point. So some of the similarities between all three countries, the United States, the UK, and Canada, are their interest in literacy. The United States has a literacy campaign called Get Caught Reading. The United Kingdom has a literacy campaign called the British Right to Read. And in Canada, they have the Metro Toronto movement for literacy. It is pretty obvious that literacy is of international value. One of the other similarities between the US, the UK, and Canada is their support of ESL service, which is English as a Second Language service. Local Education Authority provides education for English for speakers of other languages in the UK, and Canada offers ESL and FSL, which is French as a Second Language, opportunities. In the US, you'll see services offered at the elementary, secondary, collegiate, and community level to encourage English language learning. Some of the differences between Canada and the United States, though the funding percentage is very similar, the way the funding is used is very different. In the United States, we have a Department of Education that decides what education is going to look like. However, in Canada, they do not. The properties and territories get to decide how the money is spent for their education systems. In the UK, one of the main differences has to do with their focus on employable skills education. The United Kingdom is not as concerned with lifelong learning. However, the United States focuses on both employable skills and the impact of lifelong learning on its society. It is important to note those differences because were the UK to take on some of the US lifelong learning focus, you would probably see an influx of community services for senior citizens, for continuing education after retirement, for becoming involved in the community. If the US did away with that focus and only focused on employable skills, you would probably see a decrease in the unemployment rate. However, you would also see a decrease in community service offerings, which are great outreach for our nation, and increase our citizenship engagement, which is very important to a successful country, which learning. One of the differences between the US and Canada is, though it's still funded by the government, provinces and territories are responsible for making their own educational choices. So this asks the question, what if the US looked more like Canada? If we consider this question, if the U.S. allowed each state to make their own educational choices, some states could opt out of the Common Core standards or use their own standardized testing per state. This would cause a drastic shift in educational practices here in the U.S. On the other end, what if Canada adopted some structure from the U.S. education system? If Canada adopted some of the United States principles, the competencies, instructional practices, and digital resources and services will not be integrated into Canada's learning system. Their primary focus of Canadian education is position learners for fulfillment and success in the modern world. If the US were to take the same philosophy on lifelong learning as the UK, the nation would see a decrease in community services, including senior citizen engagement and services supporting the steps of citizenship. The UK isn't as interested in as supporting individuals to become citizens. However, the United States education system varies from the UK. The UK focuses its efforts on providing education if it can lead to employment rather than lifelong learning. The United States focuses in both areas. If the United States shifted, there would be less programs for our seniors to remain active and still feel a part of the community and society, and less programs to help non-citizens become citizens. While it addresses unemployment, it does not help out other areas that need attention. The United States may end up with an even greater economic gap between the rich and the poor if it were to take on some of the UK philosophy. So what can we do with this information? As future educators in community-based education, it bodes well for us to be more aware of what other countries expect from their educational philosophies and their community-based services. As the globe becomes even smaller with technology and travel, we will most likely be in a classroom that includes international learners. So to be aware of their cultural expectations and the expectations of their nation can help us to greater meet their needs, to understand where they're coming from, and thus build a stronger relationship. Our goal as community-based educators is always to facilitate the necessary information so that learners can participate in an authentic experience that will benefit them where they're at and where they are headed. This is Stephanie Zukowski, again speaking for the B team, which is Crez Ramirez and Marilyn Brown and myself. And we would like to say thank you for watching.